Welcome to 10 with Quinn, 10-minute podcast with myself, Quinn. You know, today's a great day because millions of college students are starting back to school, at least schools that are set up as semesters. And, you know, this is an exciting day. Some kids are leaving home for the first time. Some kids are transferring from a JC, junior college, to a four-year university. And others are just, getting another year down on their list. 4 years, maybe they're on their third year, maybe they're on their last year. But it's funny how, when you're in high school and you go to college, there's really not a blueprint for how to succeed in college and really just how to do it in general. And I think it's that way because everybody has a different experience or just a different time in college. But there are certain things that they should really tell you, they should really brief you on and for how to succeed in college. And I have just finished. I finished early. I saved money, and I have created a blueprint for you that will help you do better in class, manage your time, and save you money. So we're going to get into this blueprint. It's broken up 3 different things. I've made it really easy, and this will help you tremendously because besides, the other things in college, like friends, sports, extracurricular, that's going to be totally dependent on you. That's going to be unique to your scenario. It's really not, you can't really teach someone how to deal with that. This stuff is more to do with classes, how to manage your money and manage your time for schoolwork. So you can do those things that you want to do. So you can have fun, you don't feel as stressed out, and you can kind of understand how college works, okay? So we'll break these down, 3 steps, 3 things, the blueprint for success that I used, that I've helped people use, and I think they really realize, like, wow, okay, a lot of these things they're really different than high school, really different than probably even a JC. So stick around. These 3 things will be very helpful. All right, the first thing you got to do, this is like high school, but a little different because not only in high school do you have to be there in class. You'll get in serious trouble if you're not there, like with the law. Now, in college, you don't have to be there. You really don't. It's not mandatory. Even if teachers say it's mandatory, you don't have to be there. But this is the number one thing that will help you out of anything. Just show up. You got to be there. Show up every time. Don't be late. Don't be the person that's late, awkwardly walking through the class. Just show up. Show up. Be on time. And every time, even if you're sick, whatever, if you have a sporting event, something like that, that's obviously different. But if you're physically able, you show up every single time. Talk to your teacher. If you're too scared to raise your hand in class, talk to them after class, okay? But at least talk to your teacher. Make sure they know who you are because that's a very helpful thing later on. Trust me, you want to know your teacher and you want them to know you. And, when you're in class, don't sleep, don't be on your phone. Try to stay awake. If you can't stay awake, maybe try 5-hour energy or something, but just show up every time. It will help you so much because you'll actually learn it. Most people learn better from listening, doing the things in class, and teachers spend a heck of a lot of time preparing those classes. Okay, so show up every time. On time, talk to the teacher, and this is another huge one. And it's like a no-brainer, but people just don't do it. And that's turn in your work and turn it in on time. If you just turn in your work on time, you can turn in literally crappy work, just awful work, 2nd grade level work. But if it's on time and you turned it in, okay, you're gonna be fine. Okay, C's get degrees, it's true. And honestly, D's get degrees too, but that doesn't sound as good. So just turn in your work. It's really not that hard. Turn it in on time. And lastly, use the study guides. The teachers literally give you the answers on a study guide, okay? The study guide, it might not be exactly, but it's going to be ridiculously easy. They'll give you the answers for the test. Use the study guides. We're counting down my list, my blueprint for success in college. Top 3 things. First thing, show up on time every time. Talk to the teacher, turn in your work on time, and use those study guides, okay? That's number 1. If you just do that, you'll probably be fine. But we're going to move on to number 2. And nowadays in classes in college, there's a lot of group projects, mostly group projects. You're going to have, let's say, 2-person minimum, which is really rare, up to, I've had an 18-person group project. And key thing with group projects, and it gets harder with more people, obviously, but group projects, you want to pick partners that are kind of nerds. Okay? Not the tryhards. Now, there's a difference, okay? In high school, the nerds and tryhards are really pretty much the same. But in college, the tryhards are people who literally think they're smarter than everybody. They're really outspoken. You'll know a sweaty tryhard in class when you see, hear, and smell one. Now, you might not smell it, but don't pick the tryhards. They're awful group members. I mean, they'll try to command the group. You don't want that, okay? So just pick the quiet, smart kids. They're usually in the back. They're a little quieter. But when you're picking groups, let's say it's a 5-person group. Pick one person you know, and then try to get the nerd. I hate to say nerd, but the quiet kid who looks clean. Okay, in college, if they're clean, they're quiet, and they're there every single time, yeah, that's probably who you want in your group. All right, it doesn't matter if they're shy. I've had some of my best groups were with girls and guys that were just petrified of public speaking, which was great for me because I love public speaking. So if you're also scared of public speaking, maybe look for somebody that's not a tryhard. Trust me, avoid the tryhards. If that's my number 2 advice, which is pick partners that are not tryhards. Just good, hardworking people, preferably nerds. We'll get on to number 3 because number 3 is a really big one. Number 3, blueprint for success in college. This is huge, and this is not so much academics, but seriously, try not to buy the books. The books are just, and before I start this one, just if you're a science major, don't even listen because you pretty much need the book, I think, in science. But if you're any other major, just don't buy them. It's a waste of money. They'll lose their value. I know you can do these rental things and whatnot, but it's still bad. It's a terrible investment. So really try not to buy the books. Every college, literally any school, if they're an actual school, they'll have the books for every single class in the library for free. And if you're living on campus, it's kind of dumb to buy your books when you can just walk 2 minutes to the library and rent it for a week. Or sometimes they make you do like one day or whatever. But just the books are so expensive, especially if you're already paying thousands of dollars for classes. The books, you can get them digitally if you really, really need it, but the libraries have them. And try not to take out loans. I know it's pretty hard to do that, but the loans will kill you. Like, they'll really kill you. The interest rates are much higher. Here's what I did. And I don't have much time, so I'll break this down really quick. If you can, apply for a 0 APR credit card. So they'll usually offer 0 APR for the first year or whatever. And put as much as you can on that and then pay it down. Work all summer, save up, do that. Just the loans will kill you, all right? So just to wrap this up, show up on time every time. Turn in your work. I don't care how sloppy it is. Turn it in on time. Pick groups, not with the tryhards. You don't want the most outspoken person. This is a common mistake. People will flock to that person who is just always raising their hand. Don't trust me. You don't want that person. And lastly, try not to buy the books. Just go to the library and rent it for free, okay? So, college is fine. It's great if you try hard. If you do your best, you get out of it what you get put in. The teachers aren't really there to get you. There's so much drama with people that they think the teachers are trying to screw with them. No, they're not. They're not trying to do anything to harm your career. They need you to succeed. Okay, you're paying for it. If you fail, it looks bad on them. So just do yourself a favor. Use these tips. They'll help you tremendously. Trust me, I got done early. I know people use these tips. Just don't make too big of a deal out of it. It's not the end of the world if you get an F on something. And the teachers, they give you the answers.